A very good evening. My name is Beatrice Njeri. Our sign language interpreter is Paul Mathenge, and this is GBS News at 9 coming to you live from Kenya's capital, Nairobi. Stay tuned as we bring you the latest updates, but first, here are the highlights.
You are undertaking a vital mission that transcends borders and cultures.
Haiti mission now a reality as President William Ruto flags off first group of 400 officers with a clear message of restoring peace to Haiti.
They must stop their activities at sunset or at 6:30.
End it by 6:30 p.m. Kindiki issues strict orders ahead of Tuesday anti-finance bill demos. Corruption purge. Director of press among suspects named in elaborate fraud scheme, defrauding foreigners using fake office badges and impersonation at Foreign Affairs Ministry. Champions again. Gor Mahia were crowned champions of the 2023-2024 FKF Premier League on Sunday at the Machakos Stadium after a 4-3 win over Bidco United. And now President William Ruto on Monday flagged off the first 400 group of police officers for the United Nations peace mission in Haiti. The president expressed confidence that the Kenyan contingent, together with others from contributing countries, will help in returning lasting peace in the conflict-ravaged Haiti. Speaking at the National Police College Embakasi campus in Nairobi, President Ruto told the officers that they were selected for the peace mission based on their integrity, professionalism, and capabilities. He handed the peace mission, the Kenyan flag, during the event, attended by Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki, President's National Security Advisor Monica Juma, Inspector General Japhet Koome, and Deputy Inspectors General of Police Douglas Kanja and Nor Gabo. At the same time, President Ruto assured the officers that the government would improve their working conditions and welfare. Interior National Administration Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki thanked the President for the police modernization program, saying it was making the officers effective in their work. On Haiti, he said the country was making history in the development of police officers for peace mission in Haiti.
I want to assure you that these officers, we trained them since October last year, and they have undergone various training, United Nations training, and also they have undergone a fieldcraft exercise at Magadi. Your Excellency, these officers, we were able to take them through a thorough medical checkup, which have been provided by our sister service, the National Intelligence Service, and we assure you, Your Excellency, these officers have been tested in terms of medical cover.
In the past, our participation within the National Police Service has been very limited, and we've been support contingents to the military and other brothers and sisters within the security sector. This is the first time that the National Police Service is spearheading an international peace support system endorsed, sanctioned, and supported by the United Nations.
I am confident that the interagency team has done its work in preparing this contingent and established the necessary mechanisms to support this mission, including documenting operational protocols to guide you. You are undertaking a vital mission that transcends borders and cultures. Your presence in Haiti will bring hope and relief to communities torn apart by violence and ravaged by disorder. Both the Transitional Presidential Council and the Prime Minister have shared their expectations that you will support the Haitian police, National Police, in restoring public safety and security. As you perform this role, you are expected to embody the highest standards of integrity and professionalism, always bearing in mind that you are representatives of the mission's lead country and our ambassadors of stability and security as a country. Your performance in this assignment must be a firm statement of Kenya's capability and contribution to global peace and security, and a clear response to doubters and naysayers.
Earlier this weekend, Generation Z took over churches after sending a resounding warning to all members of the National Assembly who voted yes to the finance bill, a move that made senior politicians in the government change and twist their language from criticizing them into a congratulation the youths identified as Gen Z for their togetherness regardless of their differences in tribe. President William Ruto and other Kenya Kwanza officials led the government in appreciating this generation, as our very own Davis Karani now reports.
This Sunday service was a day off for all the Kenya Kwanza parliamentarians who voted yes to the 2024 finance bill, submitting to a warning that was resounded by the Gen Z as the youth of this generation camped in all churches just to provide a watch out to ensure that no politician gets an opportunity to address the congregation in the church. The other Kenya Kwanza administration leaders have changed their language, led by Kimani Ichung'wah, and are purporting to be supporting the youth for their solidarity in the fight for their rights, after accusing them earlier of being rich kids whose parents looted the country and rubbished their demonstration as a form of refreshing themselves, sentiments that were backed by the government's economic advisor David Ndii in his Instagram account, who also changed his sentiments, saying, "Our children are demanding for accountability in democratic dispensation. We are with them 100%.
I am very proud of our young people. They have stepped forward tribeless. They have stepped forward peaceful. And I want to tell them, we are going to engage them. We are going to have a conversation so that together we can build a greater nation."
The Kenya Kwanza leaders, who appear to have changed their language, have not yet changed their mind, as they still vote for the bill after the third reading.
So I also want to caution us as Kenyans, as we engage, as we have this public discourse around the finance bill, let us be cautious that there are those who want to disinform, misinform, with the intent of inciting Kenyans against the finance bill.
Despite of the government softening its language, huge demonstrations are expected to take place as the Gen Z hinted in a move to paralyze all parliamentary and governmental activities countrywide on Tuesday. Davis Karani, GBS News, Nairobi.
As the nation braces for Tuesday's planned protests against the Finance Bill 2024, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki has laid out stringent conditions for the police and demonstrators across the country. Speaking ahead of the anticipated rallies, Kindiki emphasized the need for peaceful and lawful conduct, underscoring the importance of maintaining public order and safety. Here are the details.
The Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki has announced that the anti-finance bill demonstration set for Tuesday must end by 6:30 p.m. or sunset. Speaking during a press conference where he outlined a raft of measures to be followed, CS Kindiki urged the protesters not to breach the public order.
They must also notify the police the timings of their activities. They must stop their activities at sunset or at 6:30 p.m., whichever is earlier, in accordance with the Public Order Act Cap 57 of the laws of Kenya.
According to Kindiki, the constitutional right to picket did not allow the destruction of property. On this, Kindiki added that the protesters were limited from accessing some areas which are protected for national security reasons.
They must adhere to the laws of Kenya, including the Protected Areas Act that limits access to certain critical infrastructure for national security reasons. And the police will guide them in which areas they cannot access by operation of the law on the protection of critical infrastructure.
The CS, however, said the rule of law must be followed at all times, adding that Kenyans are free to exercise their constitutional right and are free to demonstrate within the law. Hilary Kabila, GBS News, Nairobi.
Salim Swale, the Director of Press at the Office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary and a former news anchor, has been arrested alongside several accomplices for the orchestration of a sophisticated scheme to defraud foreigners. The arrests carried out by detectives on Sunday have exposed a web of impersonation, misuse of the Kenya Railway Office facilities, and fraud. The suspects allegedly rented office spaces to criminals and facilitated their access to high-ranking government offices through fake entry badges, deceiving unsuspecting visitors. Susan Ganga with the full report.
From a journalist to a government official, and now a suspect in connection with an elaborate scheme to defraud foreigners seeking favors from high-ranking government officials. Salim Swale, the Director of Press at the Office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary and a former news anchor, was taken into custody on Sunday alongside several accomplices. They face charges of impersonation, misuse of government facilities, and corruption. According to a statement released by Peter Warutere of the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, the suspects had perfected the art of renting office space to criminals, providing them access through fake entry badges to swindle unsuspecting visitors. The statement revealed that the fraudsters' primary targets were foreigners who were lured into the railways building under the guise of meeting high-ranking government officials in exchange for bribes. The investigation uncovered several suspects, including government officials who facilitated the illegal activities. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has launched an investigation of his staff in the scheme. Salim Swale was allegedly found with counterfeit name tags in his office, linking him directly to the extortion ring. Susan Nganga, GBS News.
Many thanks for joining this live broadcast. We have a lot lined up for you in our news segment tonight. But first, let us take a quick break. We'll be right back with even more.
So through the four gospel books, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, John, we can know the heart of Jesus in depth.
그리고 우리가 느끼는 그 예수님을 성경을 통해 느낄 수 있어서 너무 감사합니다.
And the Jesus that we can feel him through the scriptures, and I'm very thankful about that. Jesus Christ came to this earth for our sins.
지셨고,
he carried our sins.
십자가에 못 박혀 주고 죄의 형벌을 당하셨고,
and he was crucified and he received the punishment for sins.
무덤에 들어가셨다가,
and he was put into the tomb.
사흘 만에 부활하셨습니다.
and resurrected in 3 days.
이것이 우리가 말하는 복음입니다.
This is the gospel that we speak.
예수님께 우리 죄를 위해 죽으신 이야기.
About how Jesus died for our sins. The purpose of Jesus being crucified.
우리 죄를 담당하기 위하여 십자가에 못 박혀 죽으셨습니다.
He was crucified to pay for our sins.
예수 십자가에 못 박혀 죽으심으로 우리 죄가 분명히 씻어졌는데.
And through Jesus being crucified, clearly our sins have been washed clean.
참 안타깝게도 많은 사람은 여전히 죄인이라고 말합니다.
However, unfortunately, many people still say that they are sinners.
If you're going to build her to be her in a span of 0 to 10 years, is this not the time where if she's crying so much for these things and is like having the daddy issues, as you're saying?
A single mother who wants to bring up a child who can enjoy the presence of the father, I go low so much.
Behind every successful woman, who is behind that woman?
So the only issue I find with my daughter, Science says that daughters are always for their dads.
I don't want to settle down just so that I can have a husband who is not going to love my son.
Kama it was abusive na ulikuwa unaambiwa ni shetani alifanya nikurushie hiyo kiatu ama pasi. How sure are you? You've not tamed the devil, please.
But I want to be a different mother. I want to be a different woman in the society. I don't want my children to go through what I went through. I don't want to neglect my children as much as I'm alone.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back. You're still watching GBS News at 9. International Youth Fellowship Weekend Academy held its 6th orientation on Saturday, bringing together over 6,000 enthusiastic youth eager to enhance their skills through their courses. The event underscored the importance of inclusive education and the validation of skills acquired outside formal education systems. Here are the details.
International Youth Fellowship Weekend Academy held its 6th orientation on Saturday. The academy saw a vibrant assembly of over 6,000 enthusiastic youth, driven by a shared goal to elevate their skills through diverse courses.
Ni kuonyesha kwamba kuna kitu ambacho kinapatikana hapa ambacho ni kizuri, ndio maana nimerudi season 6. Na ukiangalia wakati tulianza ile season 5, tulikuwa kwa season 5. Registration haikuwa kama, ilikuwa 5,000 na wenye tulikuwa ilikuwa kama 3,000, na kwa sasa tumejasha halls 2-3 na unaweza ni matarajio ni kama 15,000 people wame turn out.
The major objective is that I will expect a lot and increase my knowledge on whatever that I want to learn, and also after this bless others with what I have learned.
Like a blessing, because when you see where youth are together, like it means that this is the right place for you to pursue their goals and, learn from, the best teachers. Because also I was here last year, so I would like to learn more and more. So it's exciting to see youth coming up and, pursuing what they love.
The academy has been instrumental in providing skills to disadvantaged youths, a majority being Form 4 leavers, who in one way or another could not have a chance to further their education due to financial constraints.
I think it's a great opportunity for youths, mostly those who are not able to juggle between work and school. So when they are at work on weekdays, they can come and add some skills to the skills they have during the weekend. And I hope to get the skills that I came here to get and enjoy and have an amazing time.
The initiative, which has adopted a 3-month cohort structure, equips students with the practical skills and empowers them to contribute positively to their communities and the broader economy. This milestone aligns with the recent approval of the recognition of prior learning policy by the Kenyan government on inclusive education, which acknowledges and validates the skills and knowledge acquired outside formal education systems.
Kirinyaga County Assembly Speaker Muteti Muremi has affirmed that they are solidly behind the government and its agendas, and anybody having problems with the government is personal issues which should not be linked with the entire country. Meanwhile, Mary Muriuki, Principal Secretary, State Department for Public Health and Professional Standards at St. Bakita Kiburia Girls in Kirinyaga County, during the prize giving day, has assured parents that their children in schools will be fully insured under the new Social Health Insurance Fund, which is scheduled to replace NHIF. Here is Tabitha Nyorinda with more from the counties.
State Department for Public Health and Professional Standards has revealed that learners have benefited from insurance cover through Edu Afya since its introduction in May 2018. following a directive from former President Uhuru. This initiative has supported learners in public secondary schools nationwide, facilitated by the Ministry of Education through free-day secondary education, and also ask parents to register their households when the program starts to ensure no adult or child is denied healthcare services due to lack of funds.
Na tukasema ya kwamba we are introducing insurance scheme that is going to be for everybody, because what we want to provide in this country is an accessible, available, affordable, quality healthcare.
Ranga Diocese Catholic Bishop James Wainaina, a guest and sponsor of the school, congratulated the institution to their continuous good for the performance and urged to do better. He stated that the church will provide all necessary support to ensure the improvement of performance, and also called upon the students to be people who can be trusted and relied on in the society.
Na pia katika kufanya sherehe za leo tumekuwa tukisema kwamba shule hii imekuwa ina miaka yake, kwamba tulifungua miaka mingi iliyopita, na tunaona kwamba infrastructure yake inaenda ikizeeka. Kwa hivyo kuwauliza wale ambao wanasaidiana katika kuendeleza hii shule wasaidie hata kufanya upya infrastructure ili watoto wetu waweze kusomea katika atmosphere ambayo ni nzuri.
Elsewhere, Kirinyaga County Assembly Speaker Muteti Murimi has affirmed that they are solidly behind the government and its agendas, and that anybody having problem with the government is a personal issue which should not be linked with the entire country. He spoke during a football tournament organized by area MCA Isaiah Mbogo.
Kama uko na shinda na serikali ya Uhuru ya William Ruto, that is your problem. It is not a Mount Kenya problem, sivyo? Tusipoteze watu wetu. We cannot afford to be the opposition. And I can tell you for free, tutafanya kazi kama viongozi usiku na mchana mpaka tuweze kubadilisha Kenya. Utatushikilia? Shikilia serikali ya William Ruto, because sisi wote we are one unitary state. Tulikuja kutatafuta kura, tukawaahidi ile mambo tutawafanyia. Na sasa kwa hii miaka 5, our only agenda ni kutimiza the promises that we gave you.
Sisi pale County Assembly of Kirinyaga, hii regime tumeapa ya kwamba sisi tutashikilia vijana mpaka mwisho. Si namna hiyo? Na hii ikiisha, wale ambao watakuwa winners ambao tumetangaziwa siku ya leo ambao ni Kutus, na mimi pale Mukore Ndia na pale Nyangate wale walishinda, juzi tulikuwa pale Kathigiriri, hao wote tutashika winners, tutengeneze ligi moja. Si namna hiyo?
The football tournament brought together various teams in Kabare Ward, with winners awarded various prizes including cash, boots and uniforms. Meanwhile, Jomo Kenyatta Children's Home in Embu has gotten a shot in the arm after receiving cash and assorted items, donations including foodstuffs, clothing and sanitary items from the Engineers Board of Kenya. The board is in Embu running an internship program for graduate engineers from various universities, ethnicities and backgrounds across the country at the Kenya School of Government to train them to become professionals.
One of the things the board does everywhere it goes, every county, every program it runs in whichever county, we visit different homes. Either you plant trees, or part of our CSR, corporate social responsibility, is to visit and commune with persons from homes, children's homes, or for people with living with different disabilities. And so here in Embu, we happened to visit Jomo Kenyatta, this Jomo Kenyatta Foundation.
Kaniti, they coming from all the surrounding counties. This children home started in 1975. Ipana ya leo, siku mingi naendelea na kazi hii. Nashukuru sana community ya Kenya na Embu County na Kenya mazima, because this Engineer Board of Kenya represent whole Kenya. They are here and they are ready to assist us with these children.
Tabitha Nyarinda, GBS News.
Do keep your comments coming in through our SMS line 21144 and GBS TV Africa on all our social media handles. That report brings us to our international news, but first let us take a quick commercial break.
Work hard ni kubaia mamake nyumba vitu kama hizo. So tumekuwa tukisave up na mamangu kubaia nyumba, so yeah, tutaka hiyo pesa hapo tu.
Sometimes you move to a single room, one bedroom, then you backfire, you go back to up and down. Yeah.
Sometimes she would sacrifice her happiness so that I can go.
So you know.
So I used to work very hard. Nikapita, nikaenda high school, pia nikapita.
You made her proud.
Starehe nikaanza kwenda church. Every Sunday I will go with them. Walikuwa poa, like walikuwa wanaimba. I used to go and watch.
Went through it with her, everything. Went through it with her. The struggling, looking for money to pay bills, school fees, even with no support from anyone.
Wasichana by this age, mtu akishamaliza high school na anapata mimba. But yeye hata hataki kukaribia hata na boyfriend, sijui boyfriend yake.
Atatuambia. Where did you get money to drink?
Hello friends, guys, so that we can follow these steps and give you an output.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to the broadcast and Out Matters International News. Controversial South African opposition politician Renald Goals was suspended by his party, the Democratic Alliance, less than a week after being sworn in as a member of parliament after old videos surfaced showing him using violent racist language against black people. The videos, which dated back around 15 years, exposed Goals repeatedly using derogatory racial slurs as well as calling for the killing of black people. Initially, Gauss claimed that one of the videos was doctored, but the later confirmed the footage was genuine. Here is more on the same.
Ronaldo Gauss, a newly appointed South African MP, has been suspended by his party, the Democratic Alliance, on Thursday, less than a week in office. This is after videos surfaced showing him using racist language against black people 15 years ago. The DA confirmed the authenticity of the videos and said Gauss will face disciplinary action. Gauss' suspension has sparked controversy in South Africa, raising questions about the country's efforts to address discrimination. This incident is significant as it comes when Gauss' party, the DA, has joined the government coalition led by President Cyril Ramaphosa. The DA has faced past accusations of protecting white minority interests. The South African Human Rights Commission is taking legal action against Gauss over his offensive remarks. Gauss' scandal has become a test of the government's resolve to combat racism and uphold the principles of the Constitution. The public will be watching how the DA and government respond to promote reconciliation and address the legacy of apartheid.
In a major victory for children's rights, Sierra Leone's parliament has recently approved a historic law banning child marriage. The new legislation outlaws marrying girls under the age of 18 and imposes jail terms of up to 15 years on offenders. Child marriage is widespread issues in Sierra Leone, with 1/3 of all girls wedding before their 18th birthday. The country is home to an estimated 800,000 child brides, 400,000 of whom were married before the age of 15, with poverty often driving families to marry off young girls, either to improve their financial situation or pay off debts. Here are the details.
In a landmark decision, Sierra Leone's parliament has approved a law regarding the abolition of child marriage in the country. The new decision is touted as a major victory in African nations, which is already spinning through a grievous economic crisis. According to the United Nations body, the country is home to 800,000 child brides, to 400,000 of whom were married before age 15. Often, due to poverty, many girls in Sierra Leone fail to stay in school. They are then married off by their families in a bid to improve their financial situations. Child marriage has been one of the biggest problems in Central Western and Central African nations. According to the United Nations Children's Funds, 1/3 of all girls are married before their 18th birthday in West African country. Child marriage is a human rights violation. Despite laws against it, the practice remains widespread. Globally, 1 in every 5 girls is formally married or in an informal union before reaching age 18. In the least developed countries, that number almost doubles. 36% of girls that are married before age 18 and 10% of girls are married before age 15.
The International Criminal Court has unsealed an arrest warrant of Iyad A.G. Ghali, also known as Abu Fadel, a Malian national of Tuareg ethnicity, who was the alleged leader of the extremist Ansar Dine Islamist group. The warrant, originally issued under the seal in 2017, charged Ghali with war crimes and crimes against humanity allegedly committed in Timbuktu, Mali between January 2012 and January 2013. Here is a full report.
The arrest warrant for Iyad Ghali covers crimes in Timbuktu and an attack on a military base during which more than 40 Malian soldiers who were not taking part in hostilities were executed, including some who had surrendered and others who were in the base hospital. The court statement is that there are reasonable grounds to believe that he would be the undisputed leader of Ansar Dine, the extremist group which held power in northern Mali at the time. The court's prosecution office welcomed the unsealing and said that the warrant for Ghali reflects the continued efforts of the office to deliver justice for those in Mali who fell victim to crimes that were committed since 2012, when Malian authorities asked the court to intervene. Mali, along with its neighbors Burkina Faso and Niger, has for over years battled an insurgency fought by armed groups, including some allied with Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State group. Following military coups in all 3 nations in recent years, the ruling juntas have expelled French forces and turned to Russia's mercenary units for security assistance instead.
Niger's military government revoked the operating license of French nuclear fuel producer Orano at the Ivorian uranium mine, one of the world's largest deposits with an estimated 200,000 tons of the vital nuclear fuel. The decision highlighted the growing tensions between Niger's junta, which came to power in a coup last year, and its former colonial ruler France. Mining at Ivorian was originally slotted to begin in 2015, but has halted due to a collapse in global uranium prices following the 2011 Fukushima nuclear disaster in Japan. Here are the details.
The military seized control of Niger on the pledge of cutting ties with the West, vowing to review mining concessions in the country and ordering the withdrawal of Western troops. Orano said it has been instructed to vacate the northern Niger site, estimated to hold 200,000 tons of uranium, crucial for nuclear energy production. Development at Ivorian had stuck since 2015 due to dropping global uranium prices following the 2011 Japanese nuclear disaster. Despite Orano's recent efforts to resume operations, Niger's mining ministry cited dissatisfaction with the company's exploitation plan in a letter dated June 20th, viewed by the Associated Press. The ministry asserted that the mine has been reclaimed by the state and stripped of all contractual rights. Junta's decision aligns with this broader agenda of reducing Western influence in Niger. This included expelling the French ambassador last year and ordering the withdrawal of French troops engaged in counterterrorism operations against Islamist militants in the region. Orano, which has operated in Niger for over half a century, expressed readiness to maintain communication with military authorities while reserving the option to challenge the license revocation through legal means, either domestically or internationally. The developments at Imoraren mine mark a significant shift in Niger's geopolitical stance as it seeks to assert greater control over its resources amid evolving international relationships.
United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres expressed profound concern recently over escalating tensions between Israel and Hezbollah militants along the border with Lebanon. Guterres warned that one rash move or miscalculation could trigger a catastrophe that could go far beyond the border, beyond imagination. Here is more on this theme.
Recent Israeli airstrikes have killed at least 42 Palestinians, including 25 in an attack on Al-Shati camp. The Red Cross described the destruction as unprecedented, with piles of dead bodies, blood everywhere. Since October 7th, the Israel-Hamas conflict has killed over 37,000 and wounded over 85,000 people.
Was very close to where the impact of these hits occurred. Within moments, we had a flood of wounded people show up at the gate of our compound. There were piles of dead bodies, blood everywhere. Frankly, it's like nothing I've ever seen before.
The UN Secretary General has warned of potential catastrophe if the situation in Lebanon escalates. Amid exchanges of fire between Hezbollah and Israel, he cautioned that one miscalculation could trigger a disaster. The UN chief stressed the world cannot afford for Lebanon to suffer Gaza's fate. He called for immediate escalation, emphasizing there is no military solution. The Secretary General urged both sides to protect civilians and ensure the displaced can return home.
I felt compelled today to voice my profound concerns about escalation between Israel and Hezbollah along the blue line.
Despite UN efforts, the risk of widening conflict remains real. The Secretary General said peacekeepers work to prevent miscalculation in the extremely challenging environment.
Let's be clear. The people of the region and the people of the world cannot afford Lebanon to become another Gaza.
The UN promotes regional peace and stability. However, with Lebanon and Gaza deteriorating, the world must heed the warning and prevent further catastrophe.
Do keep your comments coming in through our SMS line 21144 and GBS TV Africa on all our social media handles. And now for sports lovers, it is time for your most anticipated part of the news, the sports news. Let's get sporty. Gor Mahia has been crowned champions of the 2023-2024 FKF Premier League on Sunday at the Machakos Stadium. This victory follows their 4-3 win over Bidco United, although they had already secured their 21st title in the round 31. Gor Mahia finished the season with 73 points. Benson Omala opened the scoring in the first and fifth minutes, giving Gor Mahia a 2-0 lead in less than 10 minutes. Bidco United replied through a brace from Kelwish John in the 34th and 66th minutes. Shaban Mark netted a third goal for Gor Mahia in the 83rd minute, and Ronnie Onyango made it 4 in the 90+2nd minute. Bidco United, Jacob Onyango closed the scoring with a goal in the 94th minute. Tusker FC and Kenya Police secured second and third places with 65 and 59 points respectively. In the relegation battle, Muhoroni Youth will join Nzoia Sugar in relegation after they drew 1-1 with Posta Rangers. Sofapaka's 3-1 win against Nzoia Sugar granted them a lifeline, earning a playoff spot where they will face either FKF National Super League clubs, Naivas or Nairobi United. The first leg of the playoff will be on Saturday, the 6th of July 2024, and the second leg will be on Sunday, the 14th of July.
Lakini alisoma run nzuri pia Benson Ochingomala. Ndio nzuri kutoka John Kelly Wish Walupuka. Walupuka! John Kelly Wish Walupuka. Anapata moja sasa.
Anapiga kili mtu wangu. Ukiendelewa pembeni uzuri. Sylvester Oino kama alikuwa anamsindikiza vile. Imeshika mguu. Anapiga 1-2 na Mark Shaban. Anatafuta kucheza Rooney sasa. Rooney! Anayemtaka paka vunje benki. Alitaka Benson Ochengo Mala. Lakini Rooney alijua anapotaka. Sio mgeni wa kufunga. Waulize Shabana. Dakika za amemaliza pambano. Taji rasmi sasa inakwenda kwa Gor Mahia. Max Shaban msimu wake wa kwanza anafunga goli na anaondoka na taji. Mashabiki wa Kogalo hao Mashariki, sio Afrika bali na ulimwengu mzima. Benson Ochengo Mala, top scorer 2023-2024, 19 goals. Alilikosa msimu leo na Geoffrey Cheng Simiti. Mwaka 2023, mwaka 2024. It is Gor Mahia, Kogalo, Sirkal, mabingwa rasmi msimu huu. Wamebaki na taji lao. Msimu uliopita pia vile vile litawazwa.
Rugby Sevens will kick off the Olympic Games Paris 2024 in Stade de France on 24th of July, 2 days ahead of the opening ceremony. The men's competition will take place from the 24th to 27th of July. The National Rugby Sevens team, Shujaa, has been drawn in Group B of this year's Paris Olympic Games. Kenya will face Samoa, Australia and Argentina. In the men's pools, host nation France faces Staff Pool C opponents such as two-time Olympic champions Fiji, USA and Uruguay. Recently qualified South Africa will go up against Tokyo 2020 silver medalists New Zealand, Ireland and Japan, who will be looking to go one step further in the capital of France. And Uruguay and Samoa will make their Olympic debut. Kenya will be aiming to improve on its showing at the previous games in Rio de Janeiro and Tokyo, where it was ranked 11th and 9th respectively. The Olympic Games is scheduled from the 26th of July to August 11th, with Rugby Sevens action taking center stage from the 24th to 30th of July at Stade de France. The expectations continue to soar high with each and every edition of the Nairobi Provincial Cricket Association 50 Overs League, and this year is no different. Given the dark horses of the competition and the close of the transfer window, which has already set the tone for an explosive showpiece, the 50 Over League season begins on Sunday at various venues, setting the mood for some exhilarating displays of cricket artistry for the next 14 weeks. The Super Division has only one match, with league champions Ruaraka paired against Nairobi Gamikana at the Ruaraka backyard, where they were impenetrable last season. The promotion of Congonis to the top tier of the NPCA competition could make the Nairobi Club Boys the dark horses of this year's competition. The Nairobi Club outfit has acquired indefatigable Shem Goge from the Stray Lions and Alex Obanda from Gamikana to boost their battle line up. A major boost indeed. Indeed, NPCA has seen a flurry of the movement of players this season, totaling more than 45 players across all the divisions. Meanwhile, Division 1 and Division 2 have 6 and 4 matches respectively on the cards. In the Division 2, Wolves B play Stray Leopards B at Viraj Grounds. The stage is set for the 8th edition of the 2024 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup, which will be the final edition of the tournament in its current format. Next year, it will expand to 24 teams. This tournament edition will also be very special for the host nation, the Dominican Republic. This will be the first ever FIFA event they host and also mark their debut at FIFA Women's World Cup for any age group. Here are the details.
The FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup 2024 will take place in the Dominican Republic from 16th October to 3rd November. Ecuador, Kenya and Poland are all set to make their tournament debut. Hosts Dominican Republic have been joined in Group A alongside Bantese, New Zealand.
And that's Sports News brings us to the end of our news segment tonight. Here at GBS News 9, we make your news our business. My name is Beatrice Njeri. Our sign language interpreter is Paul Mathenge. Good night.